Group of African Democratic Congress state chairman has rejected the party's new leadership, led by former Senate President David Mack, calling it an orchestrated political coup. In a statement signed by Ambassador Elias Adoku and Godwin Alaku, the chairman describes the takeover engineered by an opposition coalition, including Atiku Abubakar, as a blatant subversion of both the ADC constitution and Nigeria's democratic principles. They accuse the coalition of hijacking the party to create a personal political platform ahead of the 2027 elections. The chairman condemned what they labeled a civilian junta, warning that the move mirrors dangerous political behaviors that once threatened Nigeria's democratic survival. The rejected claims of ideological alignment and instead called out the coalition for selfish ambition and manipulation. Referencing a past warning of potential violent change from one coalition leader, they described the development as a threat to the country's fragile democracy and an insult to those who built the ADC with integrity and purpose. Declaring themselves the legitimate custodians of the ADC, the chairman urged the Independent National Electoral Commission not to recognize the new leadership and called for civil society vigilance. They insisted the ADC is not a dumping ground for failed power brokers, advising the coalition to form their own party. Reaffirming their loyalty to democratic principles and the rule of law, they pledged to defend the soul of the ADC against internal subversion and protect Nigeria's political order. Emmy, still on the conversation we were having prior to this time. Now, that conversation was actually focused on El-Rufai. Now, the state chairman from different ADC chapters have come out to reject the leadership, the new leadership of David Mack and the coalition leaders. What is your take on this?
You see, I have laid this foundation before. ADC is a registered political party. Elias is the chairman of ADC in Benue State. He has been there for years. He was elected by the appropriate body as recognized by the ADC constitution. He's not there by appointment. He was elected. He's the chairman. And he's still there. There has not been any other congress or convention where Elias was removed as the chairman of ADC in Benue State. David Mack, senator, is from Benue State. David Mack is a known PDP member, a beneficiary in the PDP. He has been there for years. One day you just woke up, I say you are the chairman of ADC, without going through your ward as recognized by all constitutions, party constitution in Nigeria. You didn't go through your ward. Elias only heard about you being the chairman, national chairman of ADC on television. Elias supposed to be your leader in the state because he's the chairman, a recognized chairman, lawful chairman of ADC in Benue. So how come you are not just the chairman, the leader, national chairman of ADC at the national without going through the recognized channel? You see, I don't understand what the purpose and the political maneuvering of these ADC people, these coalition members who are forcing themselves on the throat of every person who wants to be seen as angels. What you are doing right now, it has no relation with anything that has to do with good. Let us go to the ADC Constitution. Section 23, subsection 4 of the ADC Constitution. The one that David Mack is claiming now that will be so a custodian of that Constitution. Section 23, subsection 4. It talks about, say, if there is a vacancy in any of the political office, it said the appropriate executive committee shall appoint a replacement. I repeat, appropriate executive committee shall appoint a replacement from the zone or the constituency of the outgoing office holder. So if you check what is actually happening today, David Mark, he's from North Central. Ralph Nwosu, who say he resigned his leadership and handed over to David Mark, is from the Southeast. So if peradventure, let's even assume that there is vacancy, one thing happen and they need a change of leadership, but the constitution says the person that must replace the outgoing leader or the holder of that office must be from the same zone. Is David Mark from Southeast? The answer is no. So you see conflict, right, with the constitution of ADC. Then for Aregbesola, who is now the coalition claim ADC secretary, is from the Southwest. Why the man that was there is from the North? Abdullahi, Baba Abdullahi is from the North. So if you have to appoint a replacement on the interim,
that's be from that senatorial district.
It should be from the North.
The region.
They will not look at the zone that Abdullahi hails from and pick somebody. But in this case, Aregbesola is from the Southwest, a southern Nigeria. While Abdullahi, who was occupying that, is from the northern Nigeria. So what is the correlation there? What is the relationship? So you see the conflict. They are running against the ADC constitution. So when people say they are coercive, it is true by their actions.
Now the question will be, apart from this very valid point that you've made about adequate replacement, considering the zones that they come from, one would say usually even caretaker committees at the national level, elections of national officers or national working committee of a party, as it were, is usually at it's usually done by the NEC. There's usually a national convention, which INEC participates as observers to see how the whole process went through. But in the case of ADC, what we witnessed was an unveiling that happened. There was no NEC meeting. Kachukwu, the ADC 2023 presidential candidate, who is also a member of the NEC, said that the NEC was not summoned, at least to the best of his knowledge, that NEC was not summoned. NEC was not aware of whatever conversation Ralph Nwosu was having with the Articulate Coalition. And then on the unveiling that happened, that was where David Mark was announced as ADC acting chairperson, and the acting secretary was also announced as well. But one would say the stepping down of Ralph Nwosu and the other ESCOs and handing over to this caretaker, because I'll call them caretaker committee, they are acting. Who ratified that? Number one, was this an action of the NEC? Number two, who ratified that decision? Number three is, how come prior to that time there was no clear meeting that was held, by the entire party stakeholders, as it were, to agree to this? And then, is that the constitutional means of handing over power to an interim committee, as it were?
Let me even shock you again. Do you know that Ralph also is claiming that he resigned, right? And handed over the party leadership to David Mark. Do you know that even ADC constitution stipulates that if you must resign, you must give the party 30 days notice? You must give the party 30 days notice. And if we check on the day that the ADC, David Mark led ADC leadership was unveiled, it was on one hall where Ralph was there. David Mark was there. Aregbesola and the rest of them, they were there. Right? And it's just announced that he has resigned. Was the 30 days notice as stipulated in ADC constitution met? Do you also know that section 17, subsection 1C of the ADC constitution states that before anybody could say yes, that yes, I'm now the holder of this position in ADC, that your position and that office you are claiming leadership over must be done in a recognized congress or convention. That is what the constitution of ADC says. Then if you go back to that, it says section 23 of the ADC constitution, it says before any member, anybody can be eligible to hold an office at the national level in the party, the person must be in the party for at least 2 years for national or zonal position. Then for state or local government position, you must be in the party for at least 1 year. So which constitution is David Mark relying on to say that he's the leader, he's the chairman of ADC? Why is this group of aggrieved politicians trying to destroy every available political party? Association of defectors, a group of aggrieved politicians who are looking for every means to hijack power, not for the sake of Nigeria good, but to satisfy their selfish and nefarious political quest. Why don't you submit to the constitution of the party you claim that want to take Nigeria to Eldorado? You are acting so recalcitrant already by disobeying and disrespecting the laws of the platform, the foundation through which you want to drive Nigeria to all the best of life. How do Nigerians now believe in you that you will respect their constitution? If you cannot respect the constitution of the party through which you are claiming to be the angel, the savior, who will save Nigeria, is it the Nigerian constitution that you will obey and respect? It shows that Nigerians need to run away from you. And this is your group, because you are coming as a no respecter of laws, a no respecter of institution, a no respecter of good reasons. That is what you are that is what they are demonstrating. So it's a coalition of recalcitrants, a coalition of disobedient fellows who don't have respect or regard for laws. How can you forcefully want to hijack a party structure from people whereas there is a constitution? As if that is not enough. You are planting yourself and even asking the other people to go to hell. I don't know where you wanted to go, or to go and form their own party or what. So David Mark and his group need to sit down. I know there is a propelling force that is driving them, and that is inordinate ambition of few persons who want to be president at all costs, who felt that they have unfinished business that they must establish in Aso Rock, and they must get it through Aso Rock. So they are so desperate to the extent that some are in Labour Party, some are in ADC. They refused to join one party, but they want to be president. Even when the Nigerian Constitution says you must seek elective position through a political party, no independent candidate. But we are seeing one person carrying two political parties. Labour Party ADC. The other one says SDP ADC. Atiku, it's now ADC in full. David Mark is PDP resigning from PDP to ADC in one day and becoming the leader of the party.
All right.
Whereas in your word you are not known, your name is not even in their register. So what manner of humans are these? What are they trying to rescue? Rescue their pockets at the expense of Nigeria?
All right.